Hey there, science fans! Welcome back to another exciting journey into the world of mathematics. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of functions. Functions are one of the fundamental concepts in math that help us understand and describe relationships between different quantities. Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. In fact, once you get the hang of it, you'll see functions everywhere in your daily life. Functions are as essential in math as numbers and shapes. They help us make sense of patterns and predict outcomes. Think of a function like a recipe. Just like a recipe tells you what ingredients to use and how to combine them, you put in certain ingredients, which we call inputs, follow the instructions, and voila, you get a delicious output, like a cake or cookies. The process is systematic and predictable. Just like in cooking, where following the recipe correctly gives you a tasty treat, in math, following the function's rule gives you a specific result. In math, functions work similarly. They take an input, apply a specific rule or operation, and give you a unique output. It's like a magical math machine. You put something in, the function does its work, and out comes the result. Imagine a machine where you input a number, and it performs a specific operation to give you a new number. That's essentially what a function does. Let's say our function is add 2. This means that whatever number you input, the function will add 2 to it. If we input the number 3, our output would be 5. Simple, right? This predictable nature makes functions incredibly useful. That's the beauty of functions. They bring order and predictability to the world of numbers. They help us solve problems, make predictions, and understand the world around us in a structured way. So next time you see a math problem, remember, functions are your friends. They simplify complex relationships and make math more approachable. Keep exploring, keep learning, and you'll see just how powerful and fun math can be. Now, not every mathematical relationship is a function. A function is a special kind of relationship where each input is related to exactly one output. There are a couple of ground rules that define a function. First, every input must have an output. This means that for every value you put into the function, you get a value out. You can't have a lonely input with no one to dance with. Imagine a dance floor where every person must have a partner. Second, each input can only have one output. This means that one input cannot lead to multiple outputs. It's like a one-partner dance floor. No switching partners allowed. Each dancer sticks with their assigned partner. For example, think about a vending machine. It's a perfect real-world example of a function. Each button or input corresponds to only one snack or output. When you press a button, you know exactly what you're going to get. You press C4 for chips, not a surprise soda. The machine is designed to give you a specific snack for each button. That's a function in action. The vending machine follows the rules of a function perfectly. Let's say we have a rule that says, multiply by 2, then add 1. This is a simple mathematical function. If we input 4, we get 4 times 2 plus 1 equals 9. This shows how the function works step by step. See? One input, one output. That's the function groove. Functions are all about consistency and predictability, making them a fundamental concept in mathematics. Understanding functions helps us make sense of various mathematical concepts in real-life situations. They are the building blocks of more complex ideas. So next time you see a vending machine or solve a math problem, remember the rules of functions. They are everywhere, making our world more organized and predictable. And that's what makes a function tick. It's all about the relationship between inputs and outputs, ensuring each input has a unique and consistent output. Keep these principles in mind and you'll master the concept of functions in no time. Functions aren't just confined to textbooks, my friends. They're all around us. Think about the relationship between the number of hours you work and the amount of money you earn. More hours worked usually means a bigger paycheck. That's a function. Or how about the temperature outside and the amount of ice cream sold? On scorching hot days, ice cream sales skyrocket. Another perfect example of a function in action. Even something as simple as your height changing over time can be represented as a function. As you grow taller, the years go by. Input, age, output, height. Functions are everywhere. Let's imagine a magical box called a function machine. This isn't just any ordinary box. It's a special one that follows a set of rules to transform numbers. You put a number in one end, the input, the machine does its thing according to a specific rule, and out pops a new number, the output. It's like a mini factory for numbers. Let's say our function machine's rule is to square the number. This means it multiplies the number by itself. If we input 3, the machine squares it 3 times 3 and outputs 9. It's a simple yet powerful transformation. If we input -2, it squares that, -2 times -2, and outputs 4. See the pattern? No matter the input, the rule is always applied consistently. This function machine helps us visualize how functions work. It takes an abstract concept and makes it tangible. They take an input, transform it based on a rule, and produce a unique output. This process is fundamental in mathematics and helps us understand relationships between numbers. It's like magic, but with math. The beauty of functions is that they can be as simple or as complex as we need them to be, making them incredibly versatile tools in both everyday calculations and advanced mathematical theories. Section 5. Cracking the function code. Tables and graphs. Now, how do we represent functions in a way that's easy to understand? 2 words: tables and graphs. Think of a table like a list of ingredients and their quantities in a recipe. One column represents the inputs, our ingredients, and the other column shows the outputs, the final dish. Graphs, on the other hand, are like visual representations of functions. They show us the relationship between inputs and outputs on a coordinate plane. We'll dive deeper into those in the next section. Section 6X marks the spot. Graphing functions. Graphs are like treasure maps for functions. They help us visualize the relationship between inputs, usually plotted on the x-axis, and outputs, plotted on the y-axis. Each point on the graph represents an input-output pair. For example, the point 2, 4 on our graph means that when the input is 2, the output is 4. By connecting these points, we get a line or curve that shows us the overall behavior of the function. Pretty cool, right? Section 7. Why functions matter. Connecting the dots. Why are functions so important, you ask? Well, they're the backbone of many mathematical concepts and real-world applications. Functions help us model and understand relationships between different quantities, make predictions, and solve problems. From physics and engineering to economics and computer science, functions are everywhere. Understanding functions is like having a superpower. It allows us to unlock deeper levels of mathematical knowledge and apply it to the world around us. Section 8. Beyond the basics. Exploring different types of functions. Just like there are different types of cars, sedans, SUVs, sports cars, there are also different types of functions, each with its unique characteristics and properties. We have linear functions, which create straight lines on graphs. Quadratic functions give us parabolas, those cool U-shaped curves. And then there are exponential functions, which grow or decay at an amazing rate. Exploring these different types of functions opens up a whole new world of mathematical possibilities and applications. Section 9. Wrapping it up. Functions in a nutshell. So there you have it, science fans. Functions are like mathematical machines that take inputs, apply rules, and produce unique outputs. They're everywhere in math and the real world, helping us understand relationships, make predictions, and solve problems. We've learned about different ways to represent functions, like tables and graphs, and explored some of the amazing types of functions out there. Remember, math doesn't have to be intimidating. With a little curiosity and a dash of enthusiasm, you can unlock the power of functions and see the world in a whole new light.